Welcome to the May 2017 Crockers Sales and Rents Report conducted by Ipsos New Zealand, this month based on a survey of 71 property investors and related people of interest working or... No, 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to the... Let's start again. Welcome to the Ipsos... No. Welcome to the May 2017 Crockers Sales and Rents Report conducted by Ipsos New Zealand, and this month based on a sample of 71 Auckland landlords and other customers of Crockers Property Management. So, when we asked these people what they expected from their rental property investments over the next 12 months, we actually saw this time a bit of a decline in those expecting that their rental property investments would get better, down to 24%, which is actually the lowest we have ever recorded. So the number of pessimists out there has definitely declined, and you can see there that there really has been a gradual decline ever since we started this in August 2015. Fortunately, there's also been a small decline in those thinking things would be getting worse. So really what we're actually looking there is a substantial increase in those thinking that their rental property investment performance will stay pretty much the same over the next 12 months. That's the view of 65% of the people we surveyed. So when we asked them what they plan to do differently over the next 12 months, we did find a small group of people that were planning on increasing the size of their Auckland rental property investments. They were at 19%, small rise, but still a continuous rise since January, and a slight decline in those planning to reduce the size. And generally the majority of people planning to make no changes. So really we're seeing a situation with 89% of these people planning to either make no change or possibly increase the size of their investments. So what does that mean for the actual Auckland Rental Property Performance Index? Well, you see there in the blue line that with a slightly more people thinking things will improve than actually decline, we're actually seeing a net increase there. So quite a high point there too, at 64 points for the Auckland Rental Property Investment score. In terms of the actual performance index, essentially unchanged at 68%. So the actual performance index is generally still on a downward climb, if we can have a downward climb, of course. But it's nice to see that some of the investment indexes have been trending up since January. So 42% of the people that we spoke to said they were still likely to consider making some additional rental property investments in the Auckland area over the next 12 months. Where? Well, not much change in those planning a central CBD investment, nor an apartment elsewhere. What we do see there is still the love affair with other residential areas out there in the suburbs. 62% of these people thinking that's where they'd be making some additional rental property investments over the next 12 months. Those opting for commercial still hovering around in the mid to high teens, 19% there. So it'll be no news to those of you following the changes in the Auckland market that there has actually been a decline in the number of sales noted in recent months. You can see there in the green that at 2,761, the number of properties sold in March is the lowest than what we've recorded for the last 4 Marches. And considering the increase in the actual number of Auckland properties that are actually being built and out there, we can see that proportionally this is an even greater decrease. So with reduced sales, you might expect perhaps there's a reduced demand and reduced prices, but certainly not so, with the sales median price still creeping up as ever, and at $890,000 for March this year. This being the latest results we have from Real Estate Institute of New Zealand. We can see that we're still selling property at higher prices than at any other time in Auckland history. So what does that mean for the rental market? Because we do know that the rents have certainly not been going up to match the increases in sales prices. And in fact, what we see here when you're looking at the 2-bedroom properties, the blue line showing the Auckland average rental property prices has gone up, but only very slightly to $481 on average. And in the rest of New Zealand, that green line shows that actually the prices for rental properties elsewhere has been increasing at a faster rate, now up to $395. And what that means is that we're seeing a decrease in the premium that Auckland properties have been able to demand when rents are set, and that's down to a premium of 22%. Pretty much the same story in 3-bedroom properties. The Auckland 3-bedroom rental prices are generally unchanged at an average of $606. And we can see a slightly larger increase in 3-bedroom rents elsewhere in New Zealand, up to $460, which means again a slight decrease in the premium that is charged for Auckland rental properties. And property weekly rentals, we can see that looking at the North Shore properties compared to the rest of Auckland, that the 2-bedroom units are certainly still commanding a slight premium there at $484 on average compared to $470 for 2-bedroom around the rest of Auckland. And 3-bedroom North Shore properties renting for an average of $611, $15 more than for 3 bedrooms elsewhere around Auckland. And as we've seen elsewhere as well, North Shore property prices are being certainly not immune to the increases we've seen around the rest of the Auckland market, particularly with Takapuna pulling away there at an average at over $1 million, 1.2 million there on average for Takapuna properties. Glenfield being the only part of the North Shore where the average or median sales price is under $1 million at $816,000 there. So definitely all going up. Glenfield falling back a little bit while Takapuna pulls ahead. So perhaps the best returns there to be made from purchasing in Glenfield. Certainly, like we saw in the rest of Auckland, that those prices are not reflecting any great decline in sales activity. Certainly the sales have gone down, but with rental prices and prices going up, certainly you're still seeing that it's tough to get a bargain out there. The average number of sales now in East Coast Bay is at 130, looking at the 12-month rolling average, and the fewest being in Takapuna. Obviously, these numbers will partially reflect just the simple size of these suburbs and the number of properties available to go up for sale. So if you have any more questions about this research, by all means, please contact myself, Jonathan Dodd at Ipsos, or of course your local contact at Crockers.